Hello, welcome back to Betting Expert and our Average Joe to Betting Expert series, where we're trying to go from just an average Joe punter up to an elite tipster on Betting Expert. We're trying to find out what it takes to actually crack up into the money, the prizes that we offer here at Betting Expert every single month. And I mean, if you've been following the tips so far, you'll notice that I've actually been on a pretty decent run of form and have instantly cracked into the cash standings for this month's Tipster of the Month competition. So very surprised to see that so far. I mean, you can look through the tips that I posted. Got a winning run here of 7 tips in a row. Now that, as I know on Betting Expert, is pretty rare. That's not going to happen all the time. But yeah, confidence is pretty high right now. So yeah, feel free. I'll post a link below if you want to go and look at all of the tips I've posted so far. You can just see how they've been getting on. Hopefully you've been following them from previous videos. But anyway, today we've got 5 predictions that I've made. I have actually done a little bit of research this time into some of them. So we've got some football, and we're also going to divulge a little bit away from football, go into other sports as well. But we'll get to that in a second. The first prediction, I'm going to go start at the top. The league I know most about, the Premier League. Here with Crystal Palace take on Burnley. Now looking at the head-to-heads here, Crystal Palace have won the past 4 meetings with Burnley. Burnley did win last time out against Watford, but they have some injury worries going into this game against Palace. And with that reason in mind, I do favour a home win in this one. Burnley, they did show some resolve and they did look pretty good against Watford, but I do think that Crystal Palace will be too strong. So I am going for the home win. Odds against as well, I feel like it's a pretty valuable bet. I mean, home advantage should be key. And given that I think Jay Rodriguez is an injury out for Burnley, and he looks like the only player capable of actually scoring goals for Burnley at the minute. So if he doesn't play, then this should be an even better bet. But with that being said, I feel like Palace would be too strong anyway. I know they lost to Liverpool last time out, but that's bound to be expected when Liverpool on the charge to win the title. So here I'm going to go for a Palace win, and that tip is now posted. The next game we're going to look at is a game over in Denmark, and let me get this up. It's game over in Denmark in the Superliga relegation group, which features Odense against Lyngby. Hopefully I pronounced that right for my Danish friends and colleagues. But anyway, Odense here are sitting pretty at the top of the relegation group. Lyngby have been in pretty poor form. As you can see here, they've not registered a win in their last 5 matches, while Odense have won their last 2 since the lockdown at least. So yeah, looking pretty good for a home win again in this one. Pretty straightforward bet, I feel like. Home advantage should be key. Incidentally, in Denmark, by the way, if you didn't know, they do allow spectators in the grounds at the moment, although limited basis. So it's a bit strange, you'll see people sat kind of apart from each other, but that might help a little bit with the encouragement for the home side, as opposed to the games we're seeing in England, which are completely empty, the stadiums, which is a very weird thing. But I feel like, yeah, this one should go to form and follow the bookmakers' odds, and it should be an Odense win. So here we're going to tip that up at 5-6. Okay, now 10-11 is the best price available at the time. And next we're going to move on. Another football bet is over in La Liga, where Getafe take on Sociedad. Neither side is showing any real form since the lockdown. Getafe drawn their previous 3. Sociedad have lost their previous 3. And also, if you look at the form books for both of these sides, they look really similar on paper. But home form and away form kind of matches up pretty evenly. There's only 2 points that separate them in the league standings as well. So here I feel like, again, home advantage is probably the only thing that can split them. I'm not really looking too much into the personnel, if there are any injuries for either side, but just going off the odds and the form of in the league standings and the fact that Sociedad still haven't won since the lockdown, I feel like Getafe to win should be the best bet in this one. And again, the odds have updated for me, so 8-5. I will take that. And now moving on away from football, it's a bit of a random one, but we're going over to Israeli Super League basketball, where Maccabi Tel Aviv take on Jerusalem. Now here, if you don't know anything about Israeli basketball, basically Tel Aviv are the best team in the league. But Jerusalem are in pretty decent form. You'll see they've won their previous 5. And I did take a little bit of a look at the head-to-head record between these two. And it's been only twice in the past 7 games has either side won by 12 or more points. So here, home side Tel Aviv are massive odds-on favourites. But I feel like there could be a bit of value in actually looking at the Asian handicap lines and backing Jerusalem on those lines. So I'm going to go down to the Asian lines and back Jerusalem plus 12.5. Which feels like it should be pretty nice. And a pretty safe bet. Let's get that text in there. And my tip is now posted at odds of 10 to 11. And the final prediction I'm going to post for today's sporting action is actually going over to esports, my first foray into that. We'll see how that gets on. Basically, it's a Counter-Strike Global Offensive match between, I love this name, Ninjas in Pajamas against Fnatic. Now, these two, as you can see by the betting, the outright odds are very similar. They're in decent form in that NIP, as they're known, have won the last 2, and Fnatic have won their last 2 as well. So it's really hard to split them. I did go over to a website called hltv.org, which is the leading authority in Counter-Strike Go, if you didn't know that. And actually, you can watch the game live on this site as well. I just wanted to give them a little shout out. But looking into the analytics on these teams and this match, things are really close. The only thing that I could find to actually make a difference or to split them was actually the rankings, and Fnatic are ranked number 6, while NIP are ranked at 13. So that's basically the only difference I could find in these teams, and that is going to contribute to my tip, which is going to be on Fnatic to win. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Counter-Strike, but hopefully this will be a winning bet. If it's a really bad bet, let me know in the comments, and if it wins, you'll find out tomorrow in our next video. So hopefully that'll be a decent winning tip. But let me just refresh my profile just so you can have a recap of today's tips. Hopefully we'll find some more winners. We've been on a pretty decent run of late. If not, then I'll be back tomorrow to review and try and find out exactly what went wrong. Maybe there were some obvious things that I've missed before tipping up. I'll be back tomorrow to review these. So just to recap, Fnatic to beat Ninjas in Pajamas, Odense to win at home, Jerusalem plus 12.5 in the Israeli Super League Basketball, Palace to win, and Getafe to win as well. And that's my predictions for today. As I say, get involved in the comments, let me know what you think. I'll be back soon with another video for Betting Expert.